Flat denial. This is the most direct form of gaslighting, and often the first one people encounter. Something happens. A comment is made, a promise is broken, an incident occurs, and when it's brought up, the other person simply says it didn't happen. No explanation, no alternative version, just a clean refusal to acknowledge reality. The target is left holding a memory that the other person treats as fiction. What makes flat denial so effective is its confidence. It's delivered without hesitation, which makes the person who experienced something start to wonder if they've misremembered. Doubt is a quiet thing. It doesn't announce itself, it just slowly replaces certainty, and that replacement is exactly what this tactic depends on. Minimizing. This version doesn't erase the event, it just shrinks it until it seems too small to be worth discussing. You're making a big deal out of nothing. It was just a joke. I barely even said anything. The experience is acknowledged just enough to seem like the person is being heard, but then immediately reduced to something that shouldn't have produced any real feeling. Over time, the target learns to preemptively minimize their own reactions before anyone else does it for them. They start asking themselves whether they have the right to feel what they're feeling before they've even finished feeling it. That internal editing is one of the quieter, long-term effects of this pattern. The person becomes their own critic before they ever speak. Reframing. Rather than denying what happened or dismissing the reaction to it, reframing changes the meaning of the event entirely. The gaslighter offers a new interpretation, one that just happens to remove any fault on their part. A raised voice becomes passion, controlling behavior becomes concern, cruelty becomes honesty. The event itself stays intact, but its significance gets replaced. What's particularly effective about this tactic is that it uses language the target may actually find reasonable. It can sound like perspective, like maturity, like seeing the bigger picture. The target doesn't always realize they've been handed a replacement reality. They walk away thinking they now understand what really happened, when what they've actually received is someone else's preferred version. Story twisting. This goes a step further than reframing. Here, the sequence of events gets rearranged, details get added or removed, and the narrative is reconstructed in a way that serves the gaslighter. By the time the story is finished, the target often appears to be the one who caused the problem they were trying to raise. You only got upset because you'd already been in a bad mood all day. You pushed me into saying that. The confusion this produces is real. Memory is not a recording, and when someone presents an alternative sequence with confidence and detail, it's genuinely difficult to hold the original account steady. That difficulty is the point. A person who can't trust their own version of events can't defend themselves effectively. Questioning memory. Some gaslighters make memory itself the target. Rather than arguing about what happened, they focus on the idea that the person simply can't be trusted to remember things accurately. They can say things such as, "You always do this, you mix things up," or "Your memory has never been great, you know that." It often starts with small things, moments where the person genuinely was mistaken about a minor detail, and those moments get cataloged and referenced repeatedly. After enough time, the target starts every recollection with a layer of pre-existing doubt. They stop trusting themselves as a reliable witness to their own life. That's a significant thing to lose, and it doesn't require dramatic confrontations to get there. It accumulates through small, consistent undermining delivered in an almost casual tone. Deflecting. This tactic uses the target's own history against them. Whenever they raise a concern, the gaslighter responds not by addressing it, but by pulling out something the target did wrong weeks, months, or sometimes years ago. The original issue gets buried under a counter-accusation, and suddenly the conversation is about a completely different event that the target now feels obligated to defend. It's a deflection dressed as a grievance. What makes it particularly effective is that the past incident is often real. The target did say that thing, did make that mistake. So the guilt is genuine, and it pulls their attention away from what they were trying to address. The pattern repeats until the target learns it's safer not to raise anything at all. Triangulation. Here the gaslighter brings in outside voices, real or invented, to validate their version of reality. They can say, "Everyone I've talked to agrees with me. Even your own friends think you overreact." Or, "Your sister said the same thing about you." The target suddenly isn't just disagreeing with one person, they're apparently disagreeing with a consensus. This is isolating in a specific way. It suggests that the problem isn't just the gaslighter's perception, but something others have independently noticed, which makes the target feel more exposed and less confident about seeking outside support. Sometimes the people cited are real and have actually been selectively spoken to. Other times they're completely fabricated. Either way, the effect is the same. The target feels outnumbered. Emotional labeling. This tactic doesn't engage with what the target is saying at all. It redirects attention to how they're saying it. They say, "You're being paranoid," or "You're too sensitive for this conversation," or even, "You sound unstable right now." By attaching a label to the emotional state, the gaslighter reframes the entire exchange. The content of what the target is expressing gets replaced by a diagnosis of why they can't be taken seriously. It's a particularly effective shutdown because it puts the target in an impossible position. Any attempt to defend themselves or push back can be pointed to as further evidence of the label. Staying calm feels like surrendering the point. Getting emotional seems to confirm what was just said. There's no clean exit from the framing, which is precisely why it works.